Yo, what's going on, world? Good evening. Name's Raheem Flowers, and I wanted to come with another video. And this is expounding more on a premise that I made about how blaxploitation films also contributed to the downfall of the black community. And there are a few who disagree, but then when I explained my point, they started to understand where I was coming from. And my whole thing was, nobody's really free from blame. I'm not excluding or exempting whites, the Jews, black women, and black men. You see, we cannot act like we're victims in this as a whole, like wholeheartedly, because even though we lack the power in the black community, we're the ones who have made this monstrosity perpetuate. How? As I said on my post on Facebook, by embedding these hood films like Paid in Full, like State Property, like Menace to Society, and we could even go back to the blaxploitation films like Superfly, Dolomite, Shaft. And if you know anything about Caribbean blaxploitation films, you might be familiar with The Harder They Come. And really, if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, women looked at this as a man with power. They saw this man getting in actions. They saw this man being an aggressor and assertive and always onto some sort of event where their life may be on the line. And I believe that was an enticing feeling to many women. And let's be honest, women as a whole tend to seek out power. It's just like somebody said on a forum I was reading, and he's right, that power is contextual. So if you live in the West, like here in the States, that may be social status / fame or money. If you live in the eastern part of the world, that would most likely be based on militant might. So in essence, these women saw these gangsters, these thugs, these drug dealers in these films as men of power. And as time progressed, these black men began to perpetuate that image. This is why you had these gangs, whether it be the Bloods, whether it be the Crips, whether it be the Serenos, whether it be Gangsta Disciples, Vice Lords, Black Disciples, Four Corner Hustlers, the Mexican Mafia. That is something that women typically gravitated towards. But more specifically towards black folks, as time progressed, you had these men having a continuation of that, and then they would start fucking these clucks, these crack fiend whores, and then they would start producing their crack babies in the 80s. And then on top of that, there's another layer. You had women who followed the whole "I don't need a man" mantra during that time period, and then they started going to the government for public aid assistance. So after a while, the man became or ceased to dwindle, especially throughout the black community. So then what do you have? You have women trying to make boys become men, and that's not something that they would be able to do, because a woman is not a man, and just like how a man can't make a woman, you can only give a man an idea of what type of woman he should or shouldn't approach. But when you remove that pillar, which is the man, there's a lack of disciplinary actions. And that's what the black community had, because you had a bunch of negligent men out there who wanted to depict these roles as being gangsters and thugs, and then that's what bred these do-nothing thug-ass niggas that you see today. Whether you talking about your Chief Keef or the Little Reese, whether you talking about your nigga you see on World Star Media Takeout. So, in essence, these Superfly, these dudes you would see in your 70s blaxploitation films, they are the pioneers to these do-nothing thug-ass niggas. They were being negligent of the women in the communities, and then these women as well embraced the thug image. I even had this woman who I called my mentor. She said they saw thugs as protectors. So I guess in their eyes, other men who may be considered stand-up guys or simpish would be considered quote-unquote beta males. They would see those guys as the alpha males, but they don't even realize that those men didn't even do their duties as being fathers. So that whole notion of beta male, alpha male, I just see a bunch of bullshit fallacies in that. I'm talking about just the whole train of thought of women believing that, whoever carried that notion. Now, fast forward in the 2010s decade, 2016, you got a bunch of simps out here. The pimps have become simps. Simpin is the new pimpin', people. Now you got all these dudes like Drake tricking off these hoes. Now you got dudes who say they got no problem paying for pussy. I'll never do that shit. I've told prostitutes that off the fucking bat. And now the simps are being exploited. Those are the ones who are aiming to get the hoes because they are slaves to the pussy. I've told Tommy Sotomayor this. I told him that pussy is the new plantation. If these pro-blacks want to talk about getting off the plantation, stop fiending for that pussy. Stop with the conscious brother black women are queen shit. If y'all talking about getting off the plantation, if y'all talking about how black men are gods, shit. But back to my point, because this also goes beyond race in certain aspects. I mean, look at Rob Kardashian. He got trapped by a stripper, just like Dr. Umar, Black China. Now, Black China got impregnated, and he's wifing this broad. And now, if you look in the eyes of pop culture, he's like a part of this royal family of this Kardashian clan. And then to make matters even funnier, you got a simp like Tyga going after Kylie Jenner. Kylie Jenner has her own lip, she got her own cosmetics, she got her own cooking show, or she's been on a cooking show. These hoes started economizing off of these dudes, and these dudes keep falling for it. The pimp and the whole relationship has become reversal. If this is like borderline communism, low key, because if you think about it, they're like the state. These broads out here who are a bunch of hoes, they're like the state, and they're just the hoes in the states, because they're getting a piece of the pussy, while the females, Kylie Jenner, Kim Kardashian, Black China, Amber Rose, they're getting money, they getting resources, they're getting promotions. This shit is becoming commercialized. So now all this has become so chaotic, sporadic, and this all ties back into everything being in reverse. I said that Simpin has become the new Pimpin, but now, if anybody even tries to check these broads, simps are gonna come in to the rescue, man. You're gonna have a dude with a cape on, with his S cape on for simp. Shoot. You know, those women are goddesses. They're infallible. I mean, you are really just a hollow image of what a man used to be. Because y'all are a bunch of pussy beggars. You will say and do anything for a bunch of broads who don't even remotely value you. They see you as an asset and you will come and go. You are like one of those gums that run out of flavor like in 10 seconds. They chew you up, spit you out, and look for another one, for another new flavor. So, by trying to depict a certain image and those images that had powers, i.e. the gangsters, and you saw that often attracted many women, you didn't realize that they were plotting and scheming on your ass. But it's to the point now that you don't care. As long as you get a piece of that punani, you're contentious with it. So really, that whole depiction of blaxploitation films or the Godfather-like film, mafioso films, has started to backfire against men. And I'm not even here to spout no men going out to get their own rhetoric. I'm saying it's time for men to put things into place so we can have more of a foundational, beautiful, consistent relationship with women, starting with black folks, because we don't even, when we move, the world moves, especially when we're talking about culture. Let's just tell it like it is. Why do you think they got so many Negroes using all this lingo like thought? Why do you think you got people abusing the word nigga? You got Hispanics, you got white boys getting comfortable saying the word nigga. Well, y'all gotta start regulating. And I'm not even just talking about physically, intellectually, academically, financially / economically. It's time to start regulating and doing it unapologetically. So, what do I say? What is one of the first starts for black people to start economizing and taking shit back? It's just like Black Men Taking Our Community Back said on YouTube. Shout out to that brother. There needs to be a Tristan Walker. There needs to be somebody who got dough like Bill Cosby. Since Bill Cosby, his life is pretty much over. There needs to be somebody black who, like Oprah. There needs to be and got that Oprah money. There needs to be somebody, like a lot of the hip hop community, to come together. And we need to start procreating more strategically. We need to let the do nothing thug ass niggas, let the wolves eat themselves, and start to embed education, because it's our core values that really represent us as people. And that is what the world would define you as. And we need to stop looking for the validation from white people, like with the Oscars when Jada Pinkett Smith was talking about how Will Smith didn't get no Oscars and all this stuff. We need to just say, fuck that shit, stop looking for whitey's approval right now. And we need to get on some boss shit like Frank Lucas did on American Gangster. And I think that's about all I'm gonna say. Peace out.